a new German chancellor, and there will be one, it is obviously an opportunity to try to improve our relationship with Germany, a relationship which, at the sort of practical day-to-day level, officials talking to other officials, works okay and will continue to work okay. But it's hard to deny there's not a lot of warmth at the senior political level. Whether Olaf Scholz, assuming that he does become Chancellor, which is probable but not certain, will feel any particular interest in rekindling this relationship, I'm not so sure. I don't think he and Boris Johnson as personalities will have a lot in common. But that doesn't alter the fact that Germany is the most powerful country in Europe. We may not be number one on their horizon, but we are a power to be reckoned with as well. So they'll have to have some sort of relationship together.
How much has Brexit actually soured the relationship between Britain and Germany, or was it already relatively sour?
Well, even before we left the European Union, we weren't any longer at the heart of it. I mean, we weren't in the euro, we weren't in Schengen, the arrangement for not having internal borders. So we weren't involved in EU discussions about the two things that mattered most to other EU member states, particularly Germany. So we'd been partly out of it for some time. But our deciding to leave was a shock to Germany. They hadn't reckoned on it happening. It was a big disappointment. And undoubtedly outside the EU, we don't have the same relevance to them, the same interest to them that we had when we were in it.
Just having a look at the results, really, from this German election now, and you've got the CDU, CSU 196, SDP 206, AFD 83, the Greens 118. I mean, is it fair to suggest that the Germans actually themselves have got quite a lot of apathy? They don't necessarily have a clear winner. They don't have a clear winner, do they? And I'm just intrigued to see what the German psyche is when it comes to this, because no matter who they elect in this more direct form of elections, they currently have what many would regard as a failed former German defence minister running the Brussels bloc. I mean, how do they feel about that?
Well, if you ask who was the real winner of the election on Sunday, I think I would say it was Angela Merkel, because the longer the campaign went on and the more German electors saw of her prospective successors, the more popular she got. And one thing she did achieve, she left office at a time of her own choosing, on her own terms, and with her popularity still massively high. The election suggested, I think, that German politics is now a lot more complicated. Up until not so long ago, the two main parties in Germany, the Christian Democrats and the Social Democrats, could reckon on, between them, getting well over 75% of the vote. Today, it's 50%. So whoever is the next German Chancellor will represent a party which got only 25% of the vote, roughly, and will have to go into a coalition with two other parties, which together also got around 25% of the vote. It'll be more complicated taking decisions. The Chancellor won't have quite the authority, the prestige, the ability to lay down the law that, say, Angela Merkel did. As for Ursula von der Leyen in Brussels, she will have lost her main patron. I mean, Angela Merkel sponsored her in politics. And if Scholz is the Chancellor, he won't be from Ursula von der Leyen's party group. So I think von der Leyen's position will be more exposed.
What's Angela Merkel's legacy really going to be, do you think, when history has its say? Some may argue that she's helped change the face of Germany. She enacted a policy, of course, when we saw with the refugee crisis, the migrant crisis, etc. And now she's not there anymore. Did she change the face of Germany and then shuffle off before she had to actually do something about it?
No, I think the criticism of her that you most often hear is that she didn't change the face of Germany. She didn't introduce reforms that some people in Germany think were necessary. If you ask what her legacy was, she kept the show on the road. That's not meant as a criticism. If you stay in office and keep your party in office for 16 years in a democracy, that's a pretty good achievement. She managed the European Union. She managed it rather than led it through difficult times, the banking crisis, the euro crisis, COVID. She was someone who earned Germany respect in the world. Was she a charismatic figure? No. Are there any monumental achievements to her name, like reunification? No. But as I said, she did okay.
Okay, I mean, that's the legacy that every politician can dream of after 16 years at the helm. She did all right. She had a good crack. Just lastly, Sir Paul, grateful for your time as always. Thank you very much. How much do you think Emmanuel Macron's desire to be at the centre of the EU project now will, if at all, push the UK and Germany closer together?
Maybe a bit. Olaf Scholz wasn't involved in our leaving the EU, so he may be a bit more open-minded. The trouble is, though, we're not in the EU, and the EU is the vehicle through which Macron will want to exert his new authority, or the authority that he thinks he has towards Germany. But ultimately, it's the German economy that counts. They are the biggest and most powerful, economically powerful country in Europe, and that, in the end, is more important than personalities.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.